You know what game has been a lot of fun to really just get into and try out? It's been a Steam top seller for the last couple of days. It's called Ready or Not, and it's this spiritual successor to SWAT 4. It's really tense, action-packed. It's got a lot of really great different modes in it. You can do all these things. It's an early access though, but there's so much potential for this game. I mean, just alone in the first mission, I was completely engrossed and engulfed in all the small decisions I had to make sure that my team and myself were kept alive and unscathed and unharmed while going through this labyrinth of rooms and corridors where danger could be lurking at any corner and any one of my teammates or myself could be in serious physical injury or jeopardy at any given moment. The tension that Ready or Not provides is unmistakable. The co-op in that game is phenomenal, but if the game goes through a good development cycle and is actually developed well through early access, you could really have on your hands a phenomenal single player and co-op experience that people want in a tactical first-person shooter adventure game. You know, I really hope that nothing bad happens. I really hope that there aren't, just a couple of dying gaming journalism websites that decide to come together on the exact same day at the pretty much exact same time to write 3 slanderous articles about a video game and try to inject their own politics into it and try to get the game canceled. That'd be a really bad look, wouldn't it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course that's exactly what would happen, because 3 gaming journalism websites, Kotaku, Cracked, I didn't know they did video game stuff, whatever, I thought they were defunct, and of course NME have decided to pretty much put out that exact kind of article. Now, I'm not going to go over each specific article about that in this video. What I am going to point out is in fact the general hypocrisy that happens in gaming journalism, and of course everything that is done for clicks and views on that platform. Now, I want to make it pretty much abundantly clear. I do not get political on this channel, so you're not going to see any of that here. What we are going to do, however, is point out, like I said, the actual hypocrisy of how many game journalists want to inject their own political beliefs and ideologies and ideas into a video game that has a canvas for it, and thereby stigmatizing and trying to get the video game itself canceled. Now, Alex, you're probably saying to yourself, how could even anybody try to do that? This doesn't make any sense. Well, Kotaku is the best in the business about it, baby. Let's take a look at what they said. Now, you know this is going to get pretty wild, so I want you to protect yourselves a little bit, because this goes into levels of cringe that are beyond reproach. Controversial Steam bestseller Ready or Not is an unsettling SWAT fantasy. Ah yes, and even in the headline, you've proven exactly why you've written this article. It is because on Steam, it is a bestseller. Ready or Not is a tactical horror game where you creep through sprawling mazes of American decay searching for violent suspects amidst cowering bystanders. Steam currently loves it. Many people do, myself included. But after spending a few hours with it, I can't say that I do. Not every game is for everybody. You don't have to like it. You don't have to play it. It's perfectly fine if it's not your cup of tea. At its best, it's an admirably tense puzzle game, punctuated by twitchy shootouts, but it's also a violent, political fantasy with no capacity for self-interrogation. Ladies and gentlemen, in the very first paragraph of this article, we've already understanding the setting and tone this author is trying to portray. They're literally going to paint the narrative that there is no internal view of this game politically and that it needs to be done by them specifically. Now, of course, things start getting off the rails real fast. Developed by New Zealand-based Void Interactive, Ready or Not puts you in the boots of American law enforcement tasked with bringing order to the chaos, quote unquote, of a failed state being torn apart by economic stratification and crime. Your tools for pacification include assault rifles, shotguns, submachine guns, and of course, an endless supply of military-grade zip ties. Now, what this article failed to mention, of course, is the large armament of non-lethal weapons that can be used to then subdue enemies and of course bad guys, which they truly are. If you play the game for just more than a few hours, you realize some people just aren't good. Deployed across poor neighborhoods, car dealerships, and gas stations, your job is to methodically breach and clear labyrinth-sized levels until all of the bad guys are in custody or dead. Fail to execute each encounter according to the proper rules of engagement, and you'll be chastised with failing grades at the end of each level, like a bad score in Dance Dance Revolution. Now, I know exactly what this person did. I know exactly what they did. They went through, got to the first mission of the game, and of course, in the first mission, the first rule of engagement is in fact to go in and to breach and clear a specific site. That is correct. However, you are supposed to do it in a way that no one is injured. Clearly, this person, while playing this game, either A, ignored the rule of engagement completely since they also wrote that term in their article, or B, they're so purposely bad at video games, they actually went through, failed the mission entirely, which of course will then grant you the failing grade, telling you as a player you are doing the wrong thing. Even before it blew up on Steam, Ready or Not sparked controversy and lost its publisher. No, they didn't. Team 17 and Void Interactive just departed ways. They didn't lose the publisher. After one of its developers seemingly recommitted to adding a school level, players on the game's Discord fantasize about which gear they used to hunt down the suspect in this prospective scenario. Void Interactive eventually weighed in to reassure everyone it would handle such dramatic content with care, but after playing through a handful of the game's existing maps, I'm doubtful. Well, you don't even know how to actually play the game, but we'll continue. Ready or Not is more like a game of Mousetrap than a round of Call of Duty. You'll spend more time peeking around doors and traps than spraying and praying, leaving behind a trail of chem lights to mark where you've already been. Eventually, you'll hit upon NPCs who won't surrender, and who instead pull weapons out and start lighting you up with the superhuman fury of a Matrix agent. Hence the fear and trepidation with which you and the rest of your squad, bungling AI companions if playing solo, or other players if online, make your way through affordable housing, quote-unquote, meth labs and hotel under siege. It's an incredibly evocative combo, helped in part by detailed sound cues and the eerie ambient drumming of the electronic soundtrack that's handled with all the care of a toddler running with scissors. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't even want to go to full screen for this. Why would you even write that sentence? Who even approved this to be published? Ready or Not's realism is effective enough to disturb, but too shallow not to descend into farce, or worse, Blue Lives Matter cosplay with fascist overtones and alt-right dog whistles. You know, I can't even fathom like the thought process. I need to know how many calories they burned jumping to this conclusion. I really do. An Easter egg in the game's starting headquarters area consists of a discarded red pill box in the trash can with the words "noggin joggers" on the side, which some have interpreted as 4chan speak for the what? So this was the first Google result, and it's a book called Brain Teasers, Noggin Joggers Lap 1. Apparently noggin joggers are actually puzzles for your brain. They jog the noggin. How many calories did you burn jumping to this conclusion? Please. Void Interactive did not immediately respond to a request for comment to clarify the intended meaning. Update: the studio's response has been added below. Elsewhere, a box of vitamin D supplements for boner health from Whore Foods sits on a table next to spare ammunition. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's a good joke. Well, vitamin D's for bones. You get a boner. Boner health. That's good. That's pretty funny. Whore Foods. That's also pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's a good one. It sounds like they just have a good sense of humor. While another vitamin box references the Pepe meme. And there it is, your dog whistle. A freaking frog. Actual idiots. Idiots. There's also the now infamous anal staircase sign from one of the game's old trailers, which belongs to an upcoming sex club level. That's pretty on the nose. Random bystanders have only a few recorded lines they'll bark at you at the moment, one of which is "My mom has a Mexican maid, you might know her." You know, I heard that line when I was playing that game, and as a Hispanic American male, I just more cringed. I was like, that doesn't belong there. That's a weird line. But nothing. There's already a mute cringy voice lines mod to remove it. There you go. That's pretty much what it was. Though Void Interactive announced it also plans to replace it in a later update. Yeah, it's just not a good line. Then there's a law and order ideology that frames the rest of the game. America's on the brink. Crime is at an all-time high. It can't be fixed. Only subdued. The game trains you to fear everyone you meet, not as a customary but as a wish fulfillment. And with seemingly no awareness of the nation's recent reckoning with an epidemic of it's a video game with bad guys, and you're a cop. You're put in situations that are life or death. But not everyone you meet should be your best friend. We learned that as kids, remember? Stranger danger? We all learned that as children, stranger danger. Yet here, now, as an adult, it's a problem. Look, I really just cannot take much more of this article. These kinds of things are truly what make people, 1, hate your website, 2, make videos like this, and 3, when you actually have a good opinion to put out, no one listens to you. People aren't actually going to this website and this article to say like, wow, what great writing, what great journalism. This is fantastic. Look at the in-depth coverage of this game. Look at their opinion. It makes so much sense because they provided evidence and facts about what they're saying. No, everyone's going to this website to laugh at you. But sitting here and shoehorning in your political beliefs is really what people don't want in video games. When gamers, TM, say they don't want politics in video games, they don't want you shoehorning in your own personal politics. They want you to be able to go through, and if you're going to do something like that and discuss the politics in the game, that makes sense. But this isn't doing that. This is you trying to get this game pretty much canceled on Twitter. And I want to tell you this right now, Twitter is not real life. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comment section down below. Do you agree with this article? Do you disagree with it? Do you think that Ready or Not is actually a good game, or do you have your own reservations about playing it? I'd like to have that discussion and find out more. Now, if you want to see more of my content, you can subscribe to the channel because about 50% of you guys are not subscribed. But hey, that's your call if you want to or not. I just want to say thank you for watching the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.